What's up, everybody? DKO back with another video. It is episode 3 with.
Bronson. We here with the Fireside chat today, so let's get into it.
All right, but this is Bronson. I went to high school with him. He graduated last year. And what are your plans after high school?
Some of my plans after high school would probably include me going to Cincinnati State for a year, taking a branch year, trying to get my GPA better because I messed up freshman year, and then I'm going to transfer to Embry-Riddle. But in between then, I'm gonna just be working, stacking bread. Me and my friend, we opened up a business together, G Flow. He's D1, but I mean, you can never rely for one source of income. So
Yeah, those are pretty solid goals, actually. Like, that's really good that he has a plan and has it all laid out perfectly. That's what you want to do. Like, it takes a minute for you to decide your exact, you know, career plan outside of high school. But if you are like a senior or you're gonna be a junior, like start deciding and create a plan. But whenever a door closes, the next one, on to the next, on to the next. Like you're not gonna have everything figured out, but it's good to at least take the initiative to create a plan. All right, but to start this video off today, I just want to we just want to like kind of, you know, share with you guys like the ways to maintain good mental health and what it means to have good mental health. As you know, mental health is something that is very important, and a lot of people struggle with mental health. And mental health kind of ties into everything. Like that's going to show your performance in a sport, school, a relationship, job, etc. Like if you're not there mentally, you're not going to perform in every area of your life the way that you should. And it's very important to identify, like take the initiative to come to terms that, okay, I'm struggling in this area mentally, but how can I come back from it? How can I maintain it? How can I you know use the resources and the tools that I have to maintain a healthy well-being and a good mental health, just so you can show up in every area of your life at the best of your ability. um I've had my fair share of mental health struggles, but the thing is, you have to want to get better. You have to want to you know take put in the work, and you have to want to help yourself. You can't just say, oh, I'm depressed, so that just gives you an excuse to bed rot, um you know hang out with the wrong people, not go to work, or just have zero discipline or motivation. You have to fight through it. And if it, what I mean, taking accountability is the number one step to, bettering your mental health. Somebody who's unaware, they're just that really is just you're gonna stay in the same spot for the rest of your life if you're unaware. You have to be aware that what you're going through is, hurting you, or you're not where you want to be. You have to be aware and take the steps to get to where you want to be. Um, and I know we went to the same high school, so we've seen and probably had our fair share of friends or people struggling. But what would you say is? Would you agree that the first step to mental health or bettering your mental health is taking accountability?
yeah, I'd agree that taking accountability is probably one of the first steps. I mean, with mental health, I accountability is one of the things that you could take when it comes to one of the first steps. But I think the second step that you should take is getting help, because I mean, you can only take so much accountability for yourself before you understand that you can no longer help yourself. If you just hold all those emotions in and you don't talk to anybody about it, then it'll never get better. I mean, myself, I'm a product of therapy, so I understand what it could do for you. I think every man should take therapy because I mean, we all need help with something in life. We can't project our emotional traumas on the relationships that we have in our life, because it can not only ruin our family relationships, but it can also ruin our future relationships with women, men, whatever. I mean, it's not sex specific, but I mean, that's just a few points.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, I have had my fair share of toxic relationships, and I take full accountability. First of all, if you like, the red flags is what will cause a relationship to end. If you see somebody is not matching or meeting all your checkpoints before you get into a relationship, then you don't need to pursue them. And somebody who really loves themselves and is there mentally would know that they shouldn't pursue somebody who's literally giving you all the red flags. And that's the thing. Like, I was so I admit I was not who I should have been in any of my relationships because I did not love myself. My mental health wasn't right. It would cause me to do things that I would never for real do. That's why it's very important to love yourself, have that strong mental health, love yourself. You can't expect to love somebody if you don't love yourself. And you'll always be in a toxic situation, rather that's with a family member, a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, if you're not in the right space mentally, if you're not in the right headspace, you're not going to show up to these relationships the way that you should. And coming from experience, like, I'm learning this lesson now. You have to love yourself and be able to, take accountability, take action. How can I be better? How can I communicate better? How can I do this better so I can show up for all my relationships the way that I should? And yeah, he's right when he says, the second step to bettering your mental health is getting help. It's not embarrassing to get a therapist. Get a therapist. I've had a therapist for 3 years, and she's done nothing but help me and add value to my life. And it's good to have at least one person you can talk to, whether that's a friend, your mom, your dad. But having a licensed professional therapist is very beneficial. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. And if people make fun of you, laugh at you for going to a therapist, those people are just childish. And tell them to fuck off, honestly, because your mental health comes first. And if somebody who is mature and somebody who is actually your friend would understand that, they wouldn't belittle you and degrade you for trying to get help. And step 3 to kind of bettering your mental well-being and getting back on track mentally is self-improvement. Like, now that you've taken accountability, you know that there's something wrong with you, you know that something's not okay, you got help, you got you found someone you can talk to, you went to therapy. Now, what is it that I can do? What can I change? What can I take action and do for myself? Um, rather that's going to the gym. And going to the gym is very beneficial for mental health, because once you start to, you know, look good physically, that's going to make you feel good mentally. Like, going to the gym and putting your body through, you know, the uncomfortability of cardio, lifting those heavy weights. Like, somebody who does that is very disciplined, and somebody who is disciplined is going to feel like they have power and they're going to feel control, like they're in control, and they're naturally just going to feel better about themselves. And going to the gym, like, that's where the foundation really starts. If you can go to the gym, commit to going to the gym 5 days a week, like, that shows that you prioritize your health. You're gonna start to look better, feel better, all the above. Like, it really just builds your foundation all together. That even goes if you're trying to start a business too. If you go to the gym, discipline, like, you're creating discipline. So the way you show up to the gym 5 days a week, that's how you're gonna show up to your relationships, how you're gonna show up to your job, your business, whatever it is. Showing up is what leads to 80% of success. Just showing up, flat out just showing up. Um, and going to the gym, paying attention to what you put in your body. What you put in your body, it really matters. And all this processed food, it's making your skin, you know, it's making your skin, like, have problems like acne, eczema, whatever. It makes you feel depressed. All the processed food, all this food is not meant to go in your body, especially every day. Like, you should be eating things in moderation. You should, you know eat clean food. Just eat clean. You're gonna feel better, and you'll notice how much better your skin looks, how much more motivated and disciplined you feel, how much more energized you feel. Because eating McDonald's every day, you can't eat McDonald's every day and expect to feel your your best authentic self. That's just, that's impossible. You have to take accountability and do things that will lead to that permanent happiness. Don't do things that will only lead to temporary happiness, like that quick dopamine. Like, you know what I mean? Vaping, all that extra stuff. That's only just going to give you 5 seconds of happiness, and then boom, you're back to square one. You want to have that uncomfortability that will lead to that permanent success.
Um, I agree with a lot of the points that she had to say. With self improvement, I think it has a lot to do with attractiveness as well. Like, I think attraction and self improvement should go hand in hand. Because in terms of self improvement, healing emotional traumas, you have to take care of yourself. You have to be able to spend time with yourself alone and not be able to always have other opinions, because when you're around people all the time, when you're always at parties, when you're always around other people, it makes other people think that the only way you can think is when other people are around you. You don't want other people to think of you like that. it just it's never gonna make you look in a good light to other people. Uh, Another thing is like in terms of self improvement, I'll get more into it because I know a lot of people ask me myself, how do I self improve? Like for me, for self improvement, for me, how I self improved was I did skincare. I gained a skincare routine. In terms of skincare, um, you really could take after women with that. I mean, women know a lot about that, but I mean, you have to be comfortable within your masculinity and sexuality to be able to admit that a woman knows more than you and you should be taking tips from another woman, especially with skincare. Skincare is one of those type of ordeals where a lot of men kind of don't really do it and they think that just cleaning your face with like regular body soap
Yeah,
is going to
thank you.
do it. Yeah, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. It doesn't make your skin glow. It won't make you feel refreshed and healthy. Another thing I say is reading. When it comes to reading, reading will improve your vocabulary. It'll improve your conversations. It'll improve your confidence, your health. It does a lot for you. Like KO said, going to the gym. Going to the gym is statistically proven that going to the gym releases anxiety, releases nervousness, releases a lot of these factors that go into everyday things that you probably worry about that aren't that serious. Um, it also increases clarity. It increases mental health. Everything, everything. Um, and lastly, I most definitely say, and most importantly, you have to love yourself and you have to focus on yourself. If you take in everybody else's opinion and everybody else's negativity, then it's just going to start to reflect on you and you're going to start to believe it. Everybody isn't going to be batting for you, everybody isn't going to be rooting for you. You have to be emotionally healthy within yourself and emotionally mature enough to admit where you're wrong and where you're right.
Yeah, you really have to like, come to a point where you're not seeking validation in others. That is the worst you can do for your mental health. Stop living up to other people's standards because what might work for you will not work for the other person. And everybody's journey is different. Everybody's purpose on this earth is different. Not what works for Bronson might not always work for me. What works for me might not always work for him. You can't compare yourself to people because you are your own person. You have to know and understand my journey on this planet is different from every single person, and that is the unique and the beautiful thing about life. Nobody is going to be, nobody's gonna like, the like it's not going to be the exact same thing for every single person. Yeah, there might be a couple of people that, whatever works for them might work for you too, but at the end of the day, you are you and they are them for a reason. And that's why it's very important to have that comfortability in being by yourself, and you know having that security of being with yourself, and being there for yourself, because there are going to be times in life where you're in a very lonely spot, especially when you're in that transition from high school to college, or if you're not going to college, if you're building a business, you're going to lose a lot of friends because a lot of people are not going to understand that you're on this path and this path. It's a very lonely road if you're pursuing entrepreneurship because people don't understand you. They think you're crazy, they think you're stupid, and they talk about you. If you want to pursue something, you have to have a vision, a clear vision that this is going to work out for me. And I don't care what anybody has to say. Keep it to yourself. Don't always tell people your plans and what you want to do and everything. You want to kind of just have that vision and keep it to yourself. And then once the success is coming to light, that's when everybody can know. But don't tell everybody your plans. Not everybody deserves to know, and people will try to bring you down. What somebody doesn't know, they can't ruin. And that you should just really move accordingly, think accordingly, and just go for it. Don't talk, just do it. Take action.
And while we feed back onto attraction, kind of want to dig more deep into it. In terms of attraction, it's a lot of things that men do that wasn't really popular when we grew up because I mean we fed off of the old generation's type of attraction, and what they did back in the day, that blue collar work, all of that, we don't do that no more. Like, come on, bro. How many people literally grow up and think to themselves, "I always want to get my hands dirty"? Most people don't go through life thinking, "Oh, my final career in life is me getting my hands dirty constantly." For example, it's nothing wrong with y'all going to get y'all's nails done. There's no masculinity, and it doesn't take away from you as a man for you going to get your nails done. It's simply you being clean and it's attractive. You would be surprised how many females then come up to me in public and ask, "Where'd you get your nails done at? How did you how do you manage to keep up with your nails with all of the other men judging you based off your masculinity? You can't really give a fuck about what other people think." So I mean, that's just one thing. Another thing I definitely say is, I mean, as men, we have to protect our areas in specific because as men, y'all don't really protect women's pH, for example. I mean, using fruity condoms, using shit like that. That's you can't do that. If um if you use antibacterial soap, that eliminates all of the dead skin from the area. Normally, typically bar soaps are antibacterial. Um, Regular liquid soap, you shouldn't really use that on your area. So that's just in specific. Coconut oil before going into the shower, that also cleanses the area as well. And then also just make sure that you're taking care of your body as well. Your body is a huge important factor into everything in your
Your
life.
body's your temple. So
Exactly, exactly. I mean, it literally controls all your reproductive organs, all of your organs, your skin, everything. Make sure that you're eating right. You taking care of your face, your skin, all of that. Because I know me personally, I'm really clean. I like being clean. I don't. I know what it feels like to be dirty, and when you feel good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good. When they pay good, you live good.
that's very true. Like, and that's the thing with, obviously I'm not a man, so I wouldn't really know too much about this. But from what I've seen in high school and just on social media and all this other stuff, like, it's not gay to take care of yourself and be clean. Like, and that's the thing. If you're really confident in your sexuality, you would know that you know getting your eyebrows done, getting haircuts, getting your nails done, having a skincare routine, that does not make you any less of a man. That does not make you any less masculine. That has nothing to do with anything. That just simply means you prioritize your health, you prioritize your well-being, and if you can continue to vibrate on that high frequency, you're going to start attracting way better. And if you are, like, in your head watching this behind the screen and you're like, da, 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 that's gay, that's gay, that's gay, maybe you need to reevaluate you and your life decisions. Maybe you are just in the closet and need to figure yourself out, but that has nothing to do with any of the other men who prioritize their health. Like, doesn't make you any less of a man to take care of yourself. That's very attractive. And like he was saying, like, you would be surprised how many girls would approach you if you took care of yourself. Cleanliness, somebody who can take care of themselves, provide for themselves and cares about their mental well-being, that is very attractive. And you're only going to attract people on that high frequency and that high vibration, the same one that you are. And people wonder why they can't find, good women, or they attract terrible men, or they just end up in toxic relationships. Well, you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself enough to, you know, put yourself first. You give everyone the benefit of the doubt. You ignore red flags. You stay in toxic situations. You let people walk all over you. You don't take the time to really love yourself, and then you try to pursue something with somebody else when you literally have no type of self love. So you wonder why you don't attract those people. Well, maybe take accountability and look in the mirror and look and see what you're doing. And that is step one to, you know, trying to heal and attract better in the future. There's somebody out there for you, but you just have to take the accountability and the initiative to figure out what you can do and how you can be better. Like, if you're in a toxic relationship, it's your fault. If someone cheats on you, it's your fault. What were the red flags that I saw in the beginning? And yes, there are those situations and instances where if you do get cheated on, it's not your fault. You may not have seen any type of red flag from this person. Some people are just shitty people, and that just shows that they're not for you. But if someone, like, they come from a toxic household, they have a bad past, you knew what you were getting yourself into, so why even be upset when they show you who they literally were before you, or you saw the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't give anyone the benefit of the doubt. That saves you a lot of mental pain in the end of it. All right, so men's mental health, let's talk about it.
So for Men's Mental Health Month, this is the main reason I wanted to come on here. I definitely wanted to speak out about it because it did kind of get overshadowed by Pride. That's okay, because Pride Month was a very important month that we had to really focus on. It still is, but right now we also have to focus on men's mental health as well, as majority of the men in the United States are the leading in the suicide rate. Men are the majority in suicide rate, and we really don't talk to each other. We really don't communicate with one another as men. But it's something I really definitely wanted to talk about. In terms of men's mental health month, that's a month where we should be checking in on one another. In terms of Pride, they always have parades. They always check in on one another. They really get together in that month. Us men, we have to start getting together with one another and understanding one another better and talk to one another for that month, because that month is our month just as much as it is the Pride people. I don't know what I don't know what y'all want me to say for the community. I ain't trying to offend y'all. I ain't trying to make nobody mad. I'm gonna just say the Pride community. But yeah, in terms of the Pride community, that's something we also have to talk about as well. The Pride community. I mean, that's the second leading cause in suicide. I mean, one of the biggest leading causes of suicide is men and people scared to come out to their parents as gay.
LGBTQ people.
Exactly, exactly. They're very scared to come out. So I mean, that's something we definitely have to address as well. This is definitely a month where I should just call it mental health month, because it's a month where two of the leading causes in suicide are focused on for that month. It's our month. And it needs to be celebrated more. It needs to be overall, it needs to be really, it needs to be a group activity where we all come together, we all talk to one another, we all recognize where we go wrong in life and how we can fix it, how we can help one another, because it doesn't take one person, as you know, as y'all moms might say. I know our moms definitely said it. It takes more than one person to build a village. It takes a whole village to raise a child, and it takes more than one person to build a village. So at the end of the day, for yourself, it takes more than one person. It takes more than just you to become yourself. You can't just rely on yourself every single day to become successful or to become in any state in life. Any sort of success, any sort of anywhere you're trying to go in life, you can't just rely on yourself. You need somebody. You have to know somebody. That's why, for example, whenever you hear people say, "Oh, it's not who you know, or it's not what you know, it's who you know," and I mean, that just applies to jobs. In terms of jobs, you know plenty of people that get out of college and they know other people in those companies, and they get on with those companies, going up against other people that may have better requirements than them, and broke the requirements off the scale, the job requirements. So that's what I'm saying right there. I mean, we just have to look out for one another. We have to start talking to one another more often. We have to start focusing on one another. I feel like everybody as a whole needs to start recognizing it. Us men need to start celebrating it just as much as the LGBTQ plus community celebrates everything that they have going on. We got to celebrate what we got going on too, and we can celebrate it together. There's no reason for negativity. Everybody can coexist in this world. They have their lives, we have our lives. Even if you may not agree, which for me, I support, but even if you may not agree, you can still end up showing some love, showing some support, because at the end of the day, well, would you rather let a person kill themselves because of who they choose to sleep with in the bed every night, or would you rather somebody stay on this earth and they feel proud of themselves and they feel pride in themselves and they still have that healthy feeling in themselves? You can't just bring somebody down because of who they choose to sleep with. It's really none of your business.
I think the problem with, society today is that everybody wants to be divided. Everybody wants to, just everything is so divided. Why can't we all just come together? Like, you know what I mean? And even in the LGBTQ community, like it's all of a community, but everybody's so divided. Like the lesbian, the transgender, non-binary, um, gay men. Like we're all one. Let's all come together. There needs to be, like, all the hate and all the division needs to stop. And I can't say too much just because talking about the government and having YouTube is something that does not correlate whatsoever. But I mean, you guys are not oblivious to the system. Like, the system is going to push things, to keep people programmed and keep people divided from each other. We all need to come together as one. We all need to, we're all human at the end of the day. We all bleed the same blood. Like, it's ridiculous that everybody is so divided now. Nobody can just come together and agree on anything, and that even ties to all this political shit. Like, this is just, I see it as all just a division. It's propaganda. Like, it is what it is. Our votes don't even matter genuinely. But that's a whole nother topic. But we all need to come together. Like, you know what I mean? And I agree, like, it should just be a mental health month. And that's coming from somebody who is a part of the LGBTQ community. But I see right through the bullshit. And it's not fair that, you know, it's also ties into men's mental health month. And they aren't getting near the amount of recognition. And I'm here for any of you men who struggle mentally, because your mental health matters. And you guys are, a lot of you guys play a role in being the provider, supporting a family. And how can you show up to that when you're not in the right state of mind, the right mental headspace? You guys are providers. Um, you guys are part of, I mean, if there were no men here, there would be no reproduction. Like, you know what I mean? It ties a big role in that. You guys are creators, and, you guys are providers. So, being able to have those qualities, you have to be able to be in the right space mentally. If you're going to bring a whole nother child into the world, or you're going to take care of a family or cater to a woman, you have to know your role, and you have to be able to, you know, show up show up in the best way you can for all these relationships and your jobs and everything. It's very important, and you're not alone if you're struggling. Um, and don't feel ashamed that feel that you're not where you want to be mentally. Don't be ashamed of that. Everything happens for a reason. Everybody goes through something for a reason. It doesn't make you weak. It actually shows a sign of strength that you're taking the accountability, and you understand, and you know that there's something wrong, and that you're going through something. Um but yeah, like, and to the members of the LGBTQ community, if you have a man um in your home, or anywhere, including your dad, your brothers, boyfriend, whatever the case is, check in on them. June's not over, but we have like another day or two. But maybe check in on them, you know what I mean? Like, be there for them. And even regardless of June, you should always be there for somebody, regardless of the month it is. Be there for them year round, no matter what month it is. Be there for somebody. You never know when somebody, you never know what someone's going through. You never know what somebody's dealing with. And society pushes this standard on men to just be so strong, and that, if they're going through something, man up, deal with it. That's not right, and that's why their suicide rate is so high, because people push these standards on them, and it's society's fault, and we have failed as a society doing that. So, be let's be the generation that really breaks those generational curses, and actually, tries to take men's mental health more serious, because you guys matter. And I understand what you guys are going through. I mean, I'm not a man, but I've had my fair share of mental health issues. Like, this is the most mentally stable I've been in probably years. Like, you know I mean, coming out was hard enough, and sticking out and standing out to everybody, that's hard enough. But you have to want to get better. You have to believe in yourself, and things will get better. You just have to take the accountability and the initiative to get the help that you need. You know yourself better than anybody else does. So that's really all it is.
Alright, we closing this video out strong. The first person I like to shout out is KO. Proud of her for what she doing on this YouTube stuff. I could never hate on anybody up and coming. Proud of anybody that got anything going on that's up and coming. Please keep grinding. Do not stop grinding. Do whatever you can in life to try to set yourself away from society. Please don't try to be like everybody else. You have to eventually branch off and try to reach your dreams. And another thing I like to shout out is uh, fuck. Another thing I like to shout out is Inspire Growth, NSPR Growth on Instagram. KO helped me out a little bit with it. Shout out to
Yep, I'll
her.
put that in the description down below.
Shouts out to her. We still growing on that right now. We getting bigger. We getting bigger. Go ahead and go over there and check it out. It's just some quotes, just some mental health stuff. You could text me, I'll respond. I follow everybody back. Just let me know. And then lastly, I'd like to leave y'all off with a quote. This shit ain't rocket science. Grocery shop, eat, clean, hit the gym, get the bag, take your ass home, and do your skincare routine. This shit is not rocket science. Handle your business and do what you got to do in life. Don't give a fuck about what nobody else got going on. Thank you, KO, for having me on the podcast today. I'm going to hand you the mic.
All right, I appreciate you being on here, Bronson. I appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me. My YouTube is starting to really grow, and I appreciate you guys. I created a clips page on Instagram, DKO Clips, just to you know kind of get other people on other platforms to see and spread my message on other platforms. But be sure to check that out, and I'll leave his Instagram and in the description, and our motivation page in the description. And he's an upcoming content creator. Like that's like honestly, out of all the people I brought on the podcast, he was the most efficient. He knew exactly what he wanted to say, and no shade or no hate to anybody, but that's raw talent right there. And if you want to pursue a dream or have a different plan or a vision, pursue it. Who cares what anybody has to say? But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.